My boyfriend, 26 meters, and I, 22F, have a bedtime routine that used to be cute but is now killing me. Context. My sleep schedule. 10:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. My boyfriend's sleep schedule. 1 or 2 a.m. 10 or 11 a.m. Early on after my boyfriend and I moved in together, we established a nighttime routine. 1. 10 p.m. Get ready for bed together. Point 2. 10:15 p.m. Get in bed together to cuddle and chat and connect to end the day. Point 3. 10:30 p.m. Go to sleep. Edit. I wasn't clear about this. And I need to be. My boyfriend does not have to go to bed at 10:30. I go to bed at that time. But neither of us has to go to bed at that time. In fact, I would prefer that he doesn't. Because he stays in bed and keeps me up. He chooses to go to bed with me, then stay up for hours afterward. I am in no way forcing him to go to bed several hours earlier than he goes to sleep. It seems pretty simple and sweet, and it genuinely used to be, until my boyfriend started a new medication, which messed up his sleep schedule, and adopted a few bad habits. Now it is a bit of a nightmare, honestly, and I hate it. Here's how it usually goes now. The problems. He is almost always late, then begs for more time. He'll watch TV, clean the house, etc. instead of getting ready for bed, then come in at 10:20 or later, and ask if we can start our 15 minutes from then. When I tell him no, he pouts, and we have to stay up even later to talk about his feelings. He uses this time to bring up serious issues that have been on his mind. In the past week alone, we have stayed up until 2 a.m. twice to discuss issues that he brought up immediately before bed. We have stayed up later than 10:36 out of the 7 days this week. If I go to sleep without telling him, he gets upset. About a month ago, I had a long day and fell asleep around 9:45 with my clothes on and everything. At 10:20, my boyfriend came in and woke me up to get upset with me that I went to bed without telling him. Because our connection time means a lot to him. He stays in bed for hours afterward and often keeps me up. After our connection time, he, knowing that he won't fall asleep for several hours, stays in bed and plays on his phone, reads, and fidgets around instead of getting up and moving to a different room. He will not let me sleep during connection time no matter how tired I am. Just last night, I was actively falling asleep during our connection time, and he blew on my face and touched me and made loud noises to keep me up. He is inflexible about the time. I get tired at different times. He always makes a big deal when I try to move the time earlier. Just last night, I told him I have been tired, because he has kept me up, and needed to move our time 15 minutes earlier. He resisted, then intentionally took a while to get ready for bed and begged for us to start our 15 minutes when he was ready. He often tries to initiate sex during this time even though I have asked him not to. When I am tired, I want to go to bed. I am not the type whose horniness overpowers her tiredness. Regardless, my boyfriend will climb on me, kiss me, touch me, etc. during this time, then pout and tell me he feels rejected because physical touch is connecting. What I have tried. Suggesting to move our connection time earlier. I have suggested moving our connection time earlier so we can both get what we need. He needs connection time. I need to sleep. He has denied the request, stating that he prefers it to be the last thing that happens each day, having the scheduled time be more strict. I suggested having our time be from 10:15 to 10:30 exactly, which he disagreed with. He said he didn't want it to feel so scheduled, because that makes it seem less genuine. He also pointed out several times when I had been late, too. My thoughts. The whole thing sucks. It genuinely feels much more about control than about connecting. Just last night, I suggested several options to help it work for both of us. And he denied them all. Today, I am planning on telling him that I want to cancel it entirely. I have had enough of this. I am so sick of it. It's just weird. I would like for it to go back to what it was originally. But I'm not sure if that is possible. If anybody has any insight into what might be motivating him to behave this way or what I can do to have it actually be connection time, I am open to it. Show him this post, and tell him that it's become the single biggest problem in your relationship. He needs to take it seriously. Getting the proper amount of sleep is important to you. Communicating and connecting together is important to you. These things shouldn't conflict. So if you need to change the routine, then do so. Wake his ass up at 6:30 a.m. from now on for your connection time. If you do this every day, he will eventually be tired at night when you are. Do you talk to each other in the morning, or do you only talk at night? He sounds like a bit of a selfish a-hole if you ask me. It does sound like he's being controlling. Do away with connection time. Or at least take a break from it. He doesn't get to control your bedtime. Could you not have connection time at the dinner table like normal people do? You hit the nail on the head. It is about control. This is toxic behavior. Sleep deprivation is a known tactic of control. Everything is only on his terms and schedule, and only about his needs, wants, and desires. You can't talk your way into making someone like that understand what you need because they don't care. This whole thing sounds crazy, NGL. He is showing entitlement to you in many ways that is simply unacceptable and, at best, deeply unhealthy. Some boundaries, such as sleeping at a certain time, can be unintentionally violated, tested. Some can be intentionally pressuring you for sex, and others ignored completely, inflexibly, putting himself first. However, as you know, boundaries protect you, keeping you safe and healthy, like getting a healthy amount of sleep. His disregard for boundaries is disrespect to you. His violation of your boundaries are a violation of you. I'd ask myself first, in what other ways does he get his way? In what other ways am I and my concerns ignored and minimized? In what other ways is this an unhealthy relationship? What are red flags that I dismissed? While there are cathartic suggestions here, my go-to cathartic joke suggestion is to get a spray bottle to squirt him when he's not listening to a "no, I am going to sleep, won't have sex, won't have that talk right now." Quote. They tend to be destructive and exacerbate the issue more than a mature, collaborative conversation would be. If you feel you cannot have that conversation or it is ineffective at actually solving anything, larger questions come into play. If he is actually escalating abuse, minimal and rarely to more serious and more frequent, and all attempts to reassert healthy boundaries haven't worked. 1. Make sure you do not become isolated, and 2. Know that it's safer and healthier to exit the relationship before your safety and health is in question. My dear, keeping you awake on purpose is abuse. It is literally abuse. He is abusing you. He will not let you sleep. He will make loud noises and touch you. This is abuse. Do what you must. Be smart. Do you think this is intentional control and sleep deprivation? Or is it an effect of his new medication? Off the bat, he sounds like a psychopath. But if he used to respect your bedtime rules pre-medication, and has had a huge behavior shift, I'd be worried about the meds and focusing on that. A lot of these comments seem exceptionally harsh when talking about what seems to be a med-induced change. Obviously, his behavior needs to stop. No one is disputing that. But what other changes have happened? Is he doing this because he's unable to sleep? Is it anxiety related? Or is he possibly trying to subconsciously move bedtime further back because of sleep issues? Is he having nightmares? This seems like a very messy cry for help from him. In the end, it will be easier to find and fix the root cause, rather than going petty with waking him up or creating even harsher rules. When a partner chooses themselves, their routine, their hours, their life, their time, what they value, what's important to them vs what's important to the relationship and their partner's time, you need to believe them. Clearly, this relationship revolves around his schedule, his feelings, his emotions and his time. Ask yourself if you want this. And then ask him if he's willing to change. If it's no, then you have your answer. He uses this time to bring up serious issues that have been on his mind. My ex used to do this and it drove me crazy. I go to bed to relax for 1,530 minutes then fall asleep. I do not have the energy or the brainpower to have a serious discussion during that time. You both sound really weird. I think having a scheduled time for connecting is the whole issue. Jesus. Just live normal lives like everybody else. You are both adults. Just go to bed at different times. It sounds to me like he is not a morning person while you are. And that is perfectly fine. However, I don't understand this scheduled, planned thing about sleeping and especially about connecting time. Just connect when you are both available and not tired. Why do you need to control when he goes to bed? Why does he get upset that you went to bed without him? He is not a child? I'm my opinion. If you want to go to bed together, you must compromise. E.g., if you want to go to sleep at 10:30 and he usually goes to sleep 12 a.m., then a compromise would be 11 to 3012. I get that you are tired and want to go to sleep at 10:30. But I don't understand why you expect your boyfriend to change his routine because of that. That being said, your boyfriend's behavior in response to yours is immature and a bit vindictive. Maybe try dropping this entire schedule. I'd say show him this post and say you either 1. Need to fix these issues with this routine. Or 2. Get rid of the routine altogether. Sleep is needed. You two are around each other all day. You can talk and bond others' times. Sleep deprivation is torture and a very common tactic used by abusers. As when you are tired you are more likely to be confused, weaker, more likely to give in to demands and so easier to manipulate and gaslight. I have seen this happen to several friends. You are correct, it isn't about connecting or spending time together, it's about him controlling you and manipulating you. My advice is to do what you want with your life. If he cannot see the effect this ridiculous ritual had on you, then you will need to go, as this will damage your physical and mental health. Scheduling a time ever is weird AF. Talk during the day. He's an ass. I was in a relationship with an ex-GF that didn't respect my sleep and would wake me up during night shift rotation at 9 a.m. when I went to bed at 6:30 a.m. This was over a year's time where 6 of those months were night shift rotation. It drove me insane and made me resent her. She would not listen and would not see reason. Complete lack of empathy. I ended up dumping her. If you state your concerns, boundaries clearly and he ignores them, he doesn't appreciate, value your time. That's all you need to know about him and how he does not take you seriously. This is absolutely unbearable rules LMAO.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.